Hello everyone, I'm Rod Wortham and welcome to this episode of Raceface Driver Updates here on Racing America. We didn't have our busiest week of racing, but we certainly had a lot of variety, starting with ARCA in the Midwest, Cars Tour on the East Coast, Super Late Models in Florida and Oregon, Pro Late Models in California, Legends and Bandoleros in Atlanta, and we even threw in a couple of dirt races in Missouri. Plus a exclusive spotlight interview with NASCAR Xfinity driver Anthony Alfredo. But before we get to that interview, let's get to some of the highlights and results, starting with Jesse Love, who was at Berlin Raceway for the ARCA Menards Series Zinsser Smart Coat 200 in his Venturini Motorsports JBL.com Toyota. Jesse qualified third, ran in the top 5 throughout the evening, and it looked like he would be bringing home a 4th place finish, but with 7 laps to go, leader Daniel Dye had a mechanical issue after leading almost every lap. Jesse finished on the podium in 3rd. Up next for Jesse, back to the ARCA Series at Elko Speedway on Saturday. Caden Honeycutt was making his 7th start of the year in the Solid Rock Cars Tour at Dominion Raceway in his number 12 Autos by Nelson Solid Rock Carrier Chevrolet. Caden qualified 12th and quickly started his march through the field and was setting 4th on lap 73, but the handling started to go away in the closing laps and he finished in 6th. Caden had this to say after the race.
Hey everybody, it's Caden Honeycutt here. Just finished up here at Dominion Raceway. Started at 12th, started mid-pack, but we quickly made our way up all the way up to 4th. Fortunately, we had a blower or something go wrong on the right front. Unfortunately, it made us tight and ended up 6th. Had 5th all the way at the last corner, but we were close to another top 5. Appreciate all the effort from my guys, Solid Rock Carriers, friends of Jack on Autos by Nelson Motorsports, Tony Valento, all my guys, Arnis Race Cars, Marcus Richmond, my mom and dad. Everybody that supports us on this deal. I appreciate y'all's efforts. Next race is going to be the Throwback, July 30th at Hickory Motor Speedway. So we got a month and a half to regroup and get back at it. So we'll see you guys then.
Wasn't the finish that he was looking for, but it was a great points night as the top 2 in points both had issues. Up next for Caden, NASCAR Camping World Truck Series at Nashville Superspeedway on Friday night. Connor Mozak made an unscheduled super late model start at New Smyrna Speedway on Saturday night for the Sunbelt Series 100 with Anthony Campy Racing. Connor qualified his number 81 Nick Taylor Chevrolet in 3rd and stayed there for the entire race, bringing home a 3rd place finish. We caught up with Connor right after the race.
Well, we ended up 3rd here at New Smyrna in the Super Late Models, my first race with Anthony Campy Racing. And I feel like our car was really solid all weekend, just always a little snug. We couldn't ever seem to get the tightness out of it, but always had really good drive, and I thought we had really good long run speed, and especially in practice. We were a little too tight qualifying, but we still qualified 3rd, and we actually started 2nd in the race. It just started off really tight and just kept getting worse all race. Unfortunately, had some chunks missing out of the right front tire. That's probably a big cause of it. So we'll have to kind of investigate and see what that was. But hopefully we can do some more races with these guys and have a little bit better run.
Connor is getting some major seat time this year in a variety of different cars. ARCA, Xfinity, Super Late Models, Late Model Stocks, with more to come. Up next for Connor, back in the Trans Am TA2 car for Scott Lagacy Racing at Mid-Ohio this weekend. We're going to take another quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll head out west and check in on Cassidy Hines and Casey Klein. Jade Avedisian is back in the POWRi Midget Series in Missouri. We'll be right back with more Raceface driver updates here on Racing America.
Hi, I'm Jesse Love, and you are watching Raceface Driver Updates on Racing America.
Welcome back. Cassidy Hines was making her 2nd start of the year in the SRL Pro Late Model Series at Kern County Raceway in her number 88 Frontier Restoration Friends of Jacqueline Ford with Nate Clower Motorsports. Cassidy posted the 6th fastest time in qualifying and started the race in 6th with the invert. Cassidy raced her way back to 3rd in 1 lap and stayed there till the halfway break. Unfortunately, on the restart, another car spun her out and she had to restart at the tail end of the field. Here's what Cassidy had to say right after the race.
Hi everyone, I raced my Spears SRL Pro Late Model this weekend at Kern County Raceway, and our weekend started off good and then it got a little bit frustrating. I qualified 7th, which put me in the pill draw, and I drew a 6. That put us starting on the outside for the main, which was really good for us because we managed to get up to 3rd within a lap. Then, halfway through the race, a competition caution came out, causing us to have a restart, and I ended up getting spun. I did end up finishing 9th in the race, which was really frustrating considering we did have a 3rd place car, but I'm happy to be able to finish and I can't wait to come back and see what we can do next time. I can't thank all of my sponsors enough: Frontier Restoration, Fort Worth Screen Printing, Total Health Solutions, Commit to Fitness, Matco Tools, Raceface Brand Development, Nate Clower Motorsports for all of their help with the car, and the Friends of Jacqueline Foundation.
You can hear the frustration in her voice, but another top 10 finish for the Colorado driver. I feel confident that things are going to turn around for her. And the thing I love about Cassidy is she never gives up. So up next for Cassidy, super late models at Colorado National Speedway on Saturday. Casey Klein made history at Hermiston Raceway in Hermiston, Oregon by becoming the youngest driver to start a race in the Northwest Super Late Model Series. The young 14-year-old Quincy Washington driver qualified his #1 Thermert Farms Super Late Model in 12th and then raced his way to a top 10 finish of 8th. We caught up with Casey right after the race.
Hi, I'm Casey Klein. This weekend I was racing at Hermiston Speedway in Hermiston, Oregon. I had a good car in practice and that translated over qualifying. I qualified 12th out of 20 cars. And so I ended up starting the main 12th, and towards probably lap 70 I came in the pits during a caution to make an adjustment on my car, and I came back out right before the green, and so unfortunately ended up going a lap down because of that, but I ended up finishing 8th. But I'd like to thank all my sponsors: Thamert Farms, Sporty Steakhouse, Farmer Bean and Seed, Mountain View Polaris, Klein's Auto Sale, Raceface Advancement, Friends of Jacqueline, and anyone else who helped me on this car.
Up next for Casey is round 5 of the 5150 Junior Late Model Series at Madera Speedway on the 25th. Casey currently sets 2nd in points, only 12 points behind the leader. Jade Avedisian was at Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri for the Open Wheel Showdown, where she finished 4th in her heat race and backed that up with a top 10 finish of 7th in the A feature. Up next for Jade, Power Eye Illinois Speed Weeks. That's 5 nights of racing in 5 days. We're headed for another commercial break, and when we come back, we'll have a special in-depth interview with NASCAR Xfinity driver Anthony Alfredo. You don't want to miss this spotlight interview with Fast Pasta. Don't forget to look for this guy and your chance to win some swag from Racing America. We'll be right back with more Raceface driver updates here on Racing America.
Hi, my name is Joey East and you're watching Raceface driver updates on Racing America.
Welcome back. This week I had the privilege to sit down with NASCAR Xfinity driver Anthony Alfredo, and here's a look at that interview. Well, good afternoon, Anthony, and I'd like to thank you for taking a few minutes out of your busy schedule to spend with us today here on Raceface Driver Updates on Racing America. So how are things going?
Things have been going really well. It's been very busy, as you mentioned, but in a good way. I'm doing what I love each and every day and can't complain about that by any means.
So I think there's a lot of fans out there would like to know What does a typical week look like for Anthony Alfredo leading up to a race?
Well, really starting off on Monday, usually that's a competition meeting day, but for our team in our motorsports, we actually do that Tuesday just because all of our guys that work on the road also work in the shop. So there's, a way to kind of structure our meetings around their efficiency, getting unloaded Monday from the previous race weekend, stripping the car down and the whole teardown process. And then, of course, then lead into our team meeting Tuesday morning before we start prepping for the next race. So it's a little bit different, but that kind of makes Tuesday the busier day of the week, whereas usually Monday is. However, I'm training each and every day physically. I do a lot of weightlifting, cycling, and then I just have a lot of outdoors activities I enjoy, like paddleboarding, fishing, and all that good stuff. But sometimes it's hard to get that all in, just between the competition meetings, any sponsor meetings I may have, and just debriefing from the previous race, briefing for the upcoming event, and much more. So it's all exciting stuff, but it definitely gets pretty hectic at times, especially because the schedule's not always the same. I'd say there's those handful of things are the few that are weekly, but there's so much that just occurs spontaneously during my schedule that kind of brings new things up and shakes the schedule up every week. And by Thursday, you're already getting ready to leave that afternoon, if not Friday morning, for race weekend. So you really only have 3.5 days to kind of cram all this stuff in. And that includes studying for the next race on top of the physical training side of things.
Yeah, and you're also very, very involved in the iRacing aspect. Can you explain to us a little bit about your involvement with that?
Absolutely. So sim racing and sim time is critical for preparing for upcoming races. At the very least, it's a great training tool and visual for new tracks and even tracks you've been to, just to kind of recall the last time you were there, some of your lift points, some of the bumps in the track, because even on iRacing, these tracks are 3D scans. So you can feel every bump, every seam exactly like you would in real life. And even at home on my SimSeats driving simulator, I have D-Box haptics. So I could feel those subtle cues and get into a rhythm, get comfortable, so that when I get there for race weekend, I could maximize that limited practice time we have, which is only about 20 minutes. So just kind of knowing where I need to be before I get there is super beneficial. And then, of course, I live stream on my Twitch channel, Anthony Alfredo Racing, and that's just a lot of fun. But kind of subconsciously, I'm still honing my skills and working on my craft, whether I'm racing with fans or racing in a league. I've got the Monday Night Racing League every Monday. My personal league, the Esports Racing League, is back up on Wednesdays. And then I spot the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing series for one of our drivers, Briar LaPrade, on top of owning one of the charters with Exec Gaming. So it's just super crazy, a lot going on in the sim racing world, but I'm very passionate about esports and gaming. And I think iRacing is where that gap is bridged together with the motorsports industry.
Yeah, that's so cool. I mean, a lot of people do not have a lot of the skill sets that you have as far as a lot of the off-track stuff. I mean, we know the skill sets on the track, because I think if every racer kind of looked back, they'd be like, wow, if I could follow that path that Anthony Alfredo did. I mean, it was kind of like from junior motorsports, and then you went, to MDM, which isn't around anymore. But if you look back at the drivers that you had at that MDM Motorsports, and that was an all-star team there that you guys had put together. And then you went to Childers and Front Row, and now you're at Our Motorsports. But let's shift gears just a little bit, because we've only got a couple minutes left. Let's talk about, what does Anthony need to do to position yourself to get in the playoffs? You're currently sitting in 13th position right now. You're 58 points out of the transfer, but you've got some tracks coming up that I think is going to really play in your wheelhouse. So how do you see that unfolding?
Well, it's critical we execute every single week from here on out and don't have any issues. I said that 3 races back after Darlington, where we ran top 10 all race and just had some issues on pit road and just some circumstantial things that didn't go our way, and we settled for a top 15. But when you have a car capable of running better than that, you have to finish there. So everyone needs to do their part to execute. And after the briefing from that race, the next 3 weeks went horribly wrong and just disastrous. After I said we can't afford a bad race, we had 3 of them. So hopefully we got all that out of the way. Somehow we're still 13th in points after all of that, but we obviously lost that buffer we had behind us, and now we're further off of the cut line. So we got our work cut out for us. We're going to have to perform really, really well and hope other people don't have the best of luck while we're out there executing. But there's some good tracks for us to score stage points and compete for solid finishes. The road courses, Daytona is a race we can go win, finished 7th there to start the year and 6th at Daytona. I think our super speedway program is excellent. And then even some of the short tracks too. So just that intermediate program is what we've been working on, but we've already, became a top 12 team on a regular basis, I believe, or had top 12 cars. So it's just putting it all together, and we definitely need to figure that out so that we can make it inside that top 12 cut line before the playoffs start, and obviously, perform even better from there so that we can make it as far as we can in the standings.
Well, Anthony, we're just about out of time. Thank you so much for spending time. And by the way, congratulations on that pole award at Portland. Even though the race was, I'm not a big fan of running big, heavy race cars in the rain, but that's a subject for another time. But good luck this weekend at Nashville. Make sure you're hydrated, man. It's really, really hot in the Midwest. Well, that's it for this week's Spotlight interview here on Race Face Driver Updates on Racing America. So we're going to go back to the show. We're headed for our last commercial break. And when we come back, we'll check in on both Hudson Bolger and Cole Denton, who were competing on the quarter mile at Atlanta Motor Speedway in rounds 4 and 5 of the Thursday Thunder Series. So stay right there, and we'll be back with more Race Face Driver updates here on Racing America.
Hi, my name is Grant Thompson, and you're watching Race Face Driver Updates on Racing America.
Welcome back. Hudson Bolger was back at Atlanta Motor Speedway for rounds 4 and 5 of the Thursday Thunder Series in his number 17 Can-Am Byron Outdoor Superstore Young Lions Legend car. The series was to compete on both Wednesday and Thursday, but rain canceled Wednesday's races, and both rounds were run on Thursday in nearly 100-degree temperatures. Hudson brought home a 6th place finish in round 4 and a 12th place finish in round 5. Up next for Hudson, rounds 6 and 7 of Thursday Thunder in Atlanta. Cole Denton was also competing in the Thursday Thunder Series in Atlanta in his number 46 Mellow Yellow Bandolero. The young Mississippi driver has won almost everything that he's competed in so far this year, but has been chasing a win at Atlanta in the Thursday Thunder Series for 3 years. Would this be the week? The answer is yes, and he went back to back. So let's check in with one excited young driver.
Hey race fans, it's Cole Denton. Today we're at Atlanta Motor Speedway for round 4 and 5 of the Thursday Night Thunder Series on the quarter mile. I qualified second, and there was a 4-car invert, and I started third on the first race of today. And I passed my way to first, led all the laps, parking my number 46 IDEX Bandolera into victory lane for round 4. And by the way, guys, today was my first ever win of Thursday Thunder Series. Race 2. I started first because of the finishing order of the first race. I led till lap 8 and got past, and I crossed them immediately. And caution flew with 2 laps to go, and the time limit flag came on. So it was a 2-lap shootout, and I pulled away, parking my number 46 IDEX Bandolera in victory lane. I want to thank my mom and dad, Bacon Racing, my grandparents, Race Face Advancement, the Friends of Jacqueline Foundation, and Myers Construction, and most importantly, God. And by the way, guys, today I am singing Judas Priest.
Got to love his enthusiasm. Up next for Cole, back to Atlanta. Can he repeat those results? Well, we'll find out in next week's show. Other Race Face drivers seeing action this weekend include Anthony Alfredo, who will be at Nashville Superspeedway for the NASCAR Xfinity Series Tennessee Lottery 205 on Saturday. Sheldon Creed will also be in Nashville as the Xfinity Series returns after a 2-week break. However, Sheldon returns to the track as a dad. Congratulations, Sheldon and Cammie. Brody Moore returns to the 5150 Junior Late Model Series at Madeira Speedway on Saturday. Grant Thompson will be at Mobile International Speedway for the Pro Late Model event on Saturday. Landon Cox will be at Mini Indy this weekend at Central Indiana QMA, and Carter Whalen will also be at Mini Indy this weekend at Central Indiana QMA. Well, that's it for this week's Raceface Driver Updates. And remember, if you've missed any of our shows, you can get caught up at raceface.tv on demand. Don't forget to follow us on social media. As always, we encourage you to support local racing in your communities. We'll be back next week with more from your favorite Raceface drivers. So go out there, have a great race week. I'm Rod Wortham. Thanks for watching.